Yo, what is going on, Guardians, and welcome back to another Destiny 2 gameplay video. Hey, in this video, we're taking it all the way back to Black Armory with the full loadout that I've got going on here. Now, I decided, since I recently celebrated my 33rd birthday, and since my kids are now, like old enough to call me out on flip-flops over black socks and that whole routine around the house, I figured, I may as well fully embrace my dadness and just go full Destiny old-timer. So, in other words, I equipped Blast Furnace and the Jotun as my loadout for a whole gaming session, and the results were explosive. I bagged several We Ran Out of Medals and 40 plus kill games. I don't care what anyone says, honestly. Jotun is a cool weapon and I like it. I said it, okay? And at the end of the day, that's why I play games anyways, right? It's just to have fun. So say screw it if the thing you like is looked down on in the Destiny community. You don't owe them anything. You just owe yourself a good time. As long as you aren't, like actively cheating or dossing or sending, like cutting hate mail, hey, you're all good, my friend. But before we dive into the bulk of the video, let's hear a quick message from today's sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. Hey, if you're into fantasy-style RPGs with exceptional character designs and love collecting heroes in games, hey, Raid Shadow Legends just might be the play for you. If at any point in this video you think, hey, I might at least want to check this out, then there's a link in the description to get you started on mobile or PC with free in-game stuff too. Psh, TV, it's a mobile game. How much deep fantasy-style lore could there be? Well, for starters, there's the High Elves, and they're mega cool. They happen to be the oldest race in the Tellurian League. In the past, they've allied themselves with the Banner Lords and my favorite faction, the Sacred Order, and their support has helped the forces of good stand against evil for, like thousands of years. They're led by their nearly immortal ruler, Queen Ava, in their kingdom of Avaria, which is well fortified, and while the elves are beautiful and strong in the ways of the old magic, we actually meet them in a time of civil war, and the Queen's alliance may be more than it seems, but I digress. You'll just have to play the campaign to learn more about that. Yeah, there's a full-fledged campaign in Raid, by the way, but here, let me show you some of the High Elves that I've collected so far. I've got the Royal Guard, who's especially good in the Dragon's Lair and the Spider's Den due to his ability to attack multiple times each turn and place slowing debuffs and defense debuffs on targets. I have Tyrell, who's strong in clan boss battles and against the Minotaur. I've got the Marksman, who I've yet to experiment with much, but I'm really holding out for Pixneal because she looks incredible and is so incredibly situational that most people actually don't use her, which is literally what I do in most games. I find cool characters and items that I like that go unused by the masses, and I find a way to leverage their strengths. Right now, that's really what I'm focusing my efforts on in Raid. I've started focusing on some of my more unique and quirky characters and trying to generate team builds that incorporate their specific abilities in dungeons and campaign levels. So what's new in Raid? Well, there's always in-game tournaments and events going on for you to dive into, but lately they launched the Doom Tower activity, which I talked about not too long ago. It's a huge tower with 120 floors and secret rooms and 12 intense boss battles, and it's pretty nutty. But you should check out the Reddit threads, YouTube videos, and App Store reviews and whatnot where people give honest feedback, and it's overwhelmingly positive. Raid has lots of new champions on the way too, as well as other new events to interact with. So feel free to support me and my channel by hitting the download link for Raid in the description and get up and running with a free Spirit Champion, 50k silver, 50 gems, 5 mystery shards, 1 day XP boost, and an energy refill and a clan boss key. Here's the Hex Weaver, who you'll get for free. You'll find extra rewards here in your inbox for the next 30 days only. Hopefully I'll see you in game sometime. Alright, back to Destiny. So before we get too far into the video, I should talk about my gear. And, that's usually the #1 question that I see in the comments. What's the roll on that weapon? What's the gun? What's the armor do that you got on, right? The Pulse Rifle, as I said, is the Blast Furnace. It's an aggressive frame pulse rifle that fires 4 bullets per burst. It used to be, all the hotness, honestly, when it first came out, but the god roll on this thing got nerfed pretty hard a while back. I had a really nasty 47 kill streak with this weapon on Citadel back in the day during the Forsaken era, and it was a ton of fun, honestly. Mine has Feeding Frenzy and Kill Clip on it, so when you get it spun up, it packs a heck of a punch. On top of that, it has extended magazine, so yeah, the base mag on mine is 51 bullets. That's a friggin' lot. It's absolutely bonkers. I don't really have to reload this thing until I get a kill, honestly. I can hold a lane for a long time before reloading, and with a range value of 87, I can challenge scout rifles at scout rifle range too. It's pretty nuts. But like I said, my roll got nerfed. This used to be like the roll on this thing because Feeding Frenzy gave you like blindingly fast reload speeds when you got a kill. Unfortunately, they changed the perk so that you have to get multiple kills in order to get that fast reload, right? That basically killed the perk in PvP, as most people aren't getting multiple kills per magazine rapidly in PvP before reloading, but I digress. Anyway, my old blast furnace held her own and showed she still has some left in the tank. As of right now, my blast furnace has over 4,300 kills in PvP. That's full-on dad right there. But we took it a step further with the Jotun, right? This weapon is one of the most controversial weapons in PvP for some reason. I gotta be honest, I don't get it. It's been labeled as like the worst of the worst, the most broken OP gun of all time, and many claim it belongs in the heavy slot. Man, do they hate this gun. It's honestly funny that they get so tilted when you mention this weapon in any context. It's great. Side note, if you're gonna use this weapon, there are certain things that you have to do, okay? Let me level with you. You gotta work some certain words and phrases into your vocabulary as you use it, okay? So you gotta say things that are really dad-like. Okay, these include things like, this is a really simple one. This is the word OP, OHP, right? Blast furnace a guy from, 200 feet away, or you smack him with a Jotun from 200 feet away, OP. Like you surprise yourself, OP. When it blows a guy up from that far away, guy jumps on you out of nowhere. Oh, guy shocks you, right? You're surprised. Wife texts you and asks while you're in the middle of a match, "Hey, did you switch over the laundry?" Oh, right? It's like a oh crap kind of a thing. Oh, it's a multi-purpose word, but it's a dad word. We use it everywhere. Okay, OHP. Oh, you toss that controller down mid-match. You switch that laundry over before you get in trouble. Okay. You got to use certain insults when you kill someone with Jotun, as they run at you with a shotgun. You say things like, easy there, bucko. Bucko, that's a fun, easy there, bucko. That's a fun dad word. Okay? Or you hit him with the, this one's really good. You hit him with the, oh, you're adorable. Okay? After you blast him, you're adorable. I love it. It's so like, it's not like harsh language. But man, is it insulting, right? You're adorable. Or you go for the jugular. You can whip out, there's two that I would say are like going for the jugular, okay? Sport and goober, okay? You're like, easy there, sport. Felter guy comes at you, easy there, sport. And you put him down with the Jotun. Or you could, go with goober. You could say, Felwinter don't work here, goober. You little goober. That's a big one. I feel like that one might be the most toxic. Felwinter's doesn't work here, you goober. Man. Like, I'm used to people using all kinds of expletives in, their trash talk in gaming. But if you whip out the goober, like, that's one you don't shake off. Like, an hour later, you're sitting there thinking, like, that dude straight up, that guy really called me a goober. Like, that sits with you. I hear F-bombs all the time. They just, it's a duck off a water's back or something. I don't know what they say. But you just forget about it minutes later. But someone calls you a goober. I mean, that sticks with you a while. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to use Jotun, you can't just go halfway on it. I mean, you got to go full dad here. So make sure you work in some of that dad vernacular while you're gaming. Okay? Let me just come out of the gate and say, Jotun, that's a pretty powerful gun. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It does major damage, and it has a small amount of tracking at further ranges. But if it got moved to the heavy slot, it would never see the light of day again. How the heck is this thing going to compete with a Wardcliffe coil? Are you freaking kidding me? How the heck is it going to compete in PvE against Anarchy or a Lament? It would literally never get used again. It is not a heavy weapon, and people piss and they moan about this thing till they're blue in the face. It's weird to me, because this thing is unwieldy. It's inconsistent. It takes a long time to charge. It's incredibly punishing if you miss. And if it was as broken and OP as people insist that it is, then wouldn't you think it would be used a heck of a lot more than it currently is being used? Like, if it was basically a heavy weapon in the energy slot, then everyone would be using it. Because that's what Destiny players do, by the way. They consistently take whatever the most powerful and easiest thing to use and get kills with, and they super glue it to their hands until the next patch. I swear to Bob. The same people moaning about Jotun are getting more intimate more regularly with a Felwinter's and a steady hand than they are with any real human companion. And you can take that to the bank. And that's the conclusion of my Jotun Ranter's rant. Sorry about that. It's powerful, but I don't see how it can be called broken or OP. If someone wants to call it cheesy, sure, I can respect that, but not OP. So, as you're enjoying the supreme dad vibes in the background, hit me with what you think is the most dad loadout you can think of, right? What kinetic, energy, and subclass come to mind when you think of the dad loadout in Destiny 2? And if I like your loadout enough, I might just have to take it for a spin, okay? Also, you may remember back when I said I wasn't comfortable with a sponsor that wanted to give a PS5 away on my channel because they ended up kind of being shady as heck. And then I promised that I would go ahead and buy a PS5 myself to give away. Well, I did that. I finally got my hands on one. It took a little while, and it took a little help, but it's sitting right here in my office now behind me. And no, I didn't pay a scalper for it. So I'll be sure to let you know in a video really soon how to get your hands on it and how we'll handle the giveaway. But you won't have to pay anything to get into the raffle. It'll be a free raffle, and I'm looking forward to it. Some folks also wanted to know what happened with the ViewSonic Elite Gaming Monitor giveaway that we did. The first person who won it didn't respond. Like, after multiple attempts of reaching out to them, and I gave him a little over 2 weeks to get back to me. And never heard from the guy. So I just re-rolled the giveaway not too long ago. It went to B-Train, okay? And he did, in fact, respond and claim it. So congrats to B-Train. Alrighty. Well, thanks for watching the video. I appreciate you all so much. Be warm and well-fed, my friends. And I hope to catch you